Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome all of you to the first ever Exun Talk session. Founded in 1992, Exun is the computer science and technology club at Delhi Public School, Puram. The word Exun is short for Experts Unlimited. We hope these sessions are enlightening. We have a variety of speakers, and you can check out the full lineup on the Exun website. Our first speaker for today is an Exun alumnus, Ishaan Chugh. Before we go to Ishaan, I would like to introduce Dr. Kiran Khattar, who is here on behalf of BML Munjal University. She's here for a wonderful 10-minute session. We thank BMU for supporting Exun 20 and making the event possible.
Thank you, Vinayak. Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Kiran Khattar, and I am from BML Munjal University, working as Associate Professor in Computer Science Department. Now, let me introduce you all to BML.
Is there a university that can bring the classroom closer to the workplace? That can balance theory with practice? That can seamlessly merge the present with the future? Is there a university that can take you from here to the world? BML Munjal University offers engineering and management programs mentored by Imperial College London, founded by the Hero Group, BML Munjal University.
BML Munjal University is founded by the promoters of the Hero Group and named after the chairman and founder of the Hero Group, Dr. Brij Mohan Lal Munjal. BML Munjal University seeks to nurture ethical, future-ready leaders who are skilled, knowledgeable, and have the life skills required for leading their organizations to success. BMU aims to be a leading university in the quality and impact of its teaching, research, and its linkages with major stakeholders. The focus of BMU is to find creative solutions to problems through application of knowledge and prepare its students for their careers. BML Munjal University offers various undergraduate programs running at different schools. We have 4 different schools: School of Engineering and Technology, School of Law, School of Economics and Commerce, and School of Management. We have BTech in CSE, EC and ME at School of Engineering and Technology. We offer 2 programs at School of Law, which are BA LLB and BBA LLB. We have BA Honours in Economics and BCom in Honours, which runs under School of Economics and Commerce. At School of Management, we offer BBA, BBA in Digital Marketing, BBA in Family Business and Entrepreneurship. We also offer BBA with specialization in Business Analytics. Now, let me explain what advantage a student in BMU have. The students at BMU are given an opportunity to go through the curriculum, which is co-designed by Imperial College London. The students at BMU are also given an exposure to international universities through the immersion program at Imperial College London, Singapore Management University, CUA Foundation, Italy. We have a faculty from IAMS, London School of Economics, Imperial College of London. BMU students are placed at very good companies and at a very good package, and such companies are Amazon, KPMG, Axis Bank, DBS, and Hero MotoCorp. BMU believes in giving real-life skills to its students. They are given an opportunity to work on live projects and to work with the industry experts from KPMG, Axis Bank, IBM, Shell, Siemens, and others many more. As BMU is an Hero Group's network, and there is an experience in innovation, and all the students of BMU, they get a chance to meet all the leaders from Hero's network. And this is our website, that is www.bmu.edu.in. Now, let me introduce you to the student experience, what they have in terms of learning and exposure through when they study at BMU. Now, let me play a testimonial. That is one of my students, Nandit Mehra, who is BTech student.
My name is Nandit Mehra. I'm a final year BTech Computer Science student. So during my courseware, I worked with multiple projects on Android development, web development, machine learning, and artificial intelligence and other related new technologies. Last year, I participated in Hack MIT, which is the annual hackathon held at Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the United States. I won the first prize in the bonus category there. BMU was very helpful to me, and they also supported me financially for the Hack MIT hackathon. This year, I participated in Facebook F8 Hackathon, which is an annual hackathon organized by Facebook in San Jose, California. BMU team was the top 8 finalist at the event, and also we had the opportunity to pitch our project to the Facebook CEO, Mark Zuckerberg. From the last year, I've been learning about blockchain technology. I found this technology to be quite revolutionary, and I think it can be very helpful in the problems where transparency and trust is a big factor, and I am now planning to build up a blockchain technology startup. BMU has become my second home after my hometown in Amritsar. It has taught me a lot about life, about making friends, and about talking to other people and being brave about the ideas I have.
I take this opportunity to introduce you all to one of our event, Heroes of Tomorrow. I know that you all are here today at TechFest and you are here to showcase your technical prowess. I wish each one of you very all the best. And if you have any idea and you have not unveiled it yet, then this is the event where you can come and present your ideas. The event name is Heroes of Tomorrow and its tagline is The Hero in You. If you have any technical idea, be it a science idea, or if you have any other idea which can bring a change to the society, that event welcomes all such idea. Heroes of Tomorrow 2020 celebrates these innovations, be it across technology, art, science, social, ecological, or any other idea. Now let me introduce you to the awards which would be given to the winners for this event. The winner of this event will be given a Firefox bike and 100% scholarship for any UG program at BMU, and there is a cash prize of 50,000 bucks. For first runner-up, we have 75% scholarship for any UG program at BMU. There's a cash prize of 30,000 bucks and there's a Firefox bike as well. And for second runner-up, there is a Firefox bike, 50% scholarship for any UG program at BMU and cash prize of 20,000 bucks. If you would like to know more about any UG program which is being offered at BMU, and if you would like to know about the scholarship, this is our website, www.bmu.edu.in. You can fill in your queries over here and our counselors will get back to you. Now, let me introduce you to the timelines for this event. Just a 1 week left. Now, 22nd November is the last date for entry submission. And on 20th November, there would be an announcement of top 500 entries. And on 1st December, all these top 500 entries will go for a certified training program, which will be conducted by BML Monjal University faculty members. And after that, on 12th December, these top 500 entries, they have to pitch in more in detail for their ideas. And then on 17th December, top 100 entries will be announced and which will be followed by regional round on 19th December. Then we have a grand finale on 22nd December with top 15 entries and the winners will be announced on that day. And these 15 entries, they have to pitch in for their ideas more in detail to our jury members. And let's move to how to apply section. You have to register for this event and you have to submit your idea in the form of a video, photo, sketch, PPT, or a Word doc. The Word doc should not exceed 500 words, whereas PPT, photo, sketch, or video shall not exceed 100 MB. Now, let me introduce you to our jury members. We have on board Mr. Neeraj Kapoor, who is director at IMA, All India Management Association. We have a Mr. Somayo Goyen, who is head marketing at Firefox Bikes. We have Mr. Prashant, who is partner at AZBN Partners. We have Mr. Chetan Sharma, who is founder of Edumate TV. Dr. Vishal Talwar, who is Dean of School of Management at BML Monjal University. Dr. Sarabjot Singh Anand, who is Director of Computer Science and Engineering at BML Monjal University. Now let's move to rules and regulation. There is no registration fee. This contest is open for all the school students of 11th and 12th class, and all the entries would be judged on originality, innovation, creativity, and quality and presentation. Now let's move back to registration form. I have already filled in some dummy entries over here. Once you filled in, you have to click on next button, and then you have to select what category you are going to pitch in your idea, be it a science, technology, art, social, or any other. Then you have to define your target problem. What is the proposed solution for that problem? How much innovative is that solution is, and what is the scale of impact of your solution? And if you have any prototype, you have developed that one, you have to present that also. And here you have to write it about the methodology and the result section of your idea, and then you have to upload your file and submit this event. So I wish each one of you for this Tech Fest, and I hope to see you all at Heroes of Tomorrow at BML Monjal University. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, I have the honor of introducing Ishaan Chugh, an alumnus of Exun and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He has worked on various endeavors, the mauna.ai and EagerPanda, to name a few. Today, he will give a talk on the history of AI and what its future holds.
Okay. Hi guys. Okay. Hi guys. It's unprecedented honor, and it's very humbling to give this talk as part of Exun 2020. My talk's gonna be a little historical in nature, a little bit of technical in nature, and it's gonna cover basically the history of our artificial intelligence, how far we've come, what's happening today, and what the future might hold. So let's begin right away and go to the past. The question about can machines think has been around for a long time. This is a still from the play RUR by Karel Capek, where he first talks about robots as these intelligent humanoids that are actually machines. So the interest in whether machines can think or not has been around for a while. But it wasn't until Alan Turing proposed the imitation game in 1950, where he basically said that instead of asking the question, can machines think, we must imagine an imitation game where you have a computer and you have a human being and you have a jury. And the goal of the computer is to convince the jury that it's human. That's a game he proposed, and he said that this was equivalent to really saying that or asserting whether machines can think or not. After he wrote this seminal paper in 1950, an AI boom occurred. 1951, Dietrich Prince writes the first chess program on the Ferranti Mark I in 1951. Then there were a lot of chess programs improving on this chess program over the next 10 years. Then in 1961, 10 years after, James Slagle writes the first symbolic integration program, SAINT, which can do calculus, which is very cool. Then something of interest to both me and my company Mona is Joseph Weizenbaum's creation Eliza in 1965, which is Eliza is a Rogerian psychotherapist, basically a therapist, a computer powered therapist, it was a mock therapist, which really didn't really do much, but it showcased that okay, conversations are possible with computers, and we should start thinking about how to make these conversations more intelligent. Then came AI winter. For 30 odd years or 35 odd years, we didn't really have much that we could boast about, or much progress in this field, or much funding in this field. But at the same time, I'd like to mention three things that did happen in this period. Deep Blue computer by IBM beat Kasparov at chess, something that had been the holy grail of computer programmers for a while. Honda makes Asimo in 2005, which is a humanoid, which talks like a human, walks like a human, is able to do certain things that are characteristic of a human. In 2011, IBM Watson wins Jeopardy! And this is when the public consciousness around AI started resurfacing. It was pretty impressive what Watson did. It destroyed Brad Rutter and Ken Jennings, two of the best quiz players in the world at the time, and it won the game hands down. So I want to now fast forward to the present, which is 2012. I think this is where what's more interesting to talk about. The resurgence of AI and the rise of deep learning. This is around 2012 that it happened. So what is deep learning? To understand deep learning, you need to know what neural networks are. Neural networks is a simple architecture where you have on the left side an input layer, a hidden layer in the middle, an output layer on the right side, and as the name suggests, you put in input you put in input values in the input layer. The output layer, the hidden layer, generates the output layer values, and then you backpropagate the values so that some objective function is maximized or some loss function is minimized. So every neural network is some combination of this simple architecture, and this is what really is the crux of all this advancement that's been happening in the field of artificial intelligence. We have things like self-driving cars, 2013, thanks to Google. Because of advancements in computer vision, this was made possible. Then in 2015, AlphaGo beats Lee Sedol, who was the best Go player at the time. Lee Sedol, after this game, went into retirement, saying that this is a game for machines now, and humans should not be playing this game. Going on to 2020, which is very interesting to us because OpenAI, a company, released GPT-3, and I'll walk through the graph a little bit in this. What GPT-3, why GPT-3 is really important in the history of, or in the current context. So it's been trained on about 175 billion parameters, as opposed to other systems. As opposed to one shot or few shot learners, that is you give a system a sentence or a few sentences to train on. GPT requires no prompt. So that is pretty impressive. Um, and it's been used right now in sentence completion, but we expect that lot of the work or underlying infrastructure that these guys have built will be useful as we think of more applications in the future. So what's the future? To really appreciate the future, one has to say how far have we come along. So we can, if you look at artificial intelligence from a human perspective, we are able to get computers to see like humans, um, hear like humans, um, talk like humans, and do all kinds of things like humans. But there are two main open problems that I think are inspired from cinema. On the left, you see HAL 9000 from 2001 Space Odyssey. On the right, you have a snapshot from the movie Her. HAL was really the first demonstration, even though it was a fictional demonstration of what is known as artificial general intelligence, a computer that can really have super intelligent capabilities, for lack of a better word. Um, and on the right, you have the movie Her, in which Samantha, the operating system, is sentient. So the question is, can we make AI in the future um, um, very as intelligent as these systems that science fiction authors have thought about, or filmmakers like Stanley Kubrick, Spike Jonze have thought about? And can we make them to feel like human beings or experience consciousness the way human beings do? And it seems like it may be possible. We don't know how, the mechanics of it, but solving these two problems would ensure that humanity is in safe hands. So that is why these problems are very important. So yeah, that's kind of my talk. I wanted to do Q&A mainly. So yeah, anytime now. Yeah, so somebody has the question, wouldn't have companies continue to work on AI behind closed doors during the AI winter? Or does it feel go from not much progress to beat humans at games? Well, most of the progress was because of Moore's law, not because of some fundamental understanding of how machines could think, or how we could program intelligence into machines. Because the computing, deep blue, for instance, was a ginormous computer, very fast computer that was doing search at a very fast speed, at a very fast rate. Um, there was no insightful progress that happened in these 35, 40 years. And most of the pundits think that deep learning is from the time when we had chess playing computers in the 60s to deep learning, really nothing happened. So that's kind of the opinion. Yeah. but yeah, companies were working on, definitely IBM was working on a lot of interesting work. It's not fair to say that nothing got done, but nothing meaningful in terms of new insights about the field or new insights about intelligence occurred in that period. Um, how did we get into working for Mona? Sure. We think that in the future we'll have computers. The boundary between technology and human beings will disappear, and the founders were very inspired from the movie Her, which Spike Jonze made in 2013. And we thought or asked ourselves the question, can we build such a system? And for the longest time, the answer was no. But given the progress that has happened in academia and industry over the last 6-7 years, the answers became that maybe. And this company is a journey to explore that, and also as an expression of our burning desire to create something where like Samantha from Her. What's your take? So we have a question. What's your take on whether control over AI should be centralized or decentralized? Can you explain that question? I think it should be like, my general rule of thumb is it should be decentralized. No one party should have enough power to control such an influential or powerful technology, like for lack of a more specific term, AI. So it should always be decentralized. Yeah. I guess, do we have more questions? I guess not. So thank you, everyone, for taking out the time. And what happened to EagerPanda? Are you still interested? I am pretty interested in documenting all of human knowledge. The founders had a falling out, so we couldn't proceed with that. At some point in the future, maybe I'll work on the project again. You think tools like Notion and Rome Research accomplish that goal better than companies like Google? I'm not aware of the company Rome Research, but I mean, every company has a place, But Google is definitely the behemoth in the entire field. They have an index of knowledge larger than any company in the world in the history of companies. Nobody's had an index as big as Google. So so yeah, uh, yeah, that's my answer to that. What will be the motive for companies to keep the AI decentralized? Um, that's a very good question. What's the incentive for companies to keep the AI decentralized? I think a lot of the companies that do work in AI, or have the capability to work in AI, are generally they generally want to do good for society or mankind. So they generally tend towards being decentralized. That's not an answer towards what incentivizes, say, a company. It's just how the state of affairs is. So Google, for example, it's the first very good AI company. I started in 1998, and till now, like in its 22 years of existence, it's really done a lot of good for the world. So having that ethos in mind, and trying to do good for society is something that is common with companies that are pushing the boundaries of AI, which isn't the case with companies that are looking to make a short-term profit or something like that. I think OpenAI is doing some really interesting work. As I mentioned in my talk, GPT-3 is going to be one of the more important technologies around, and we're just scratching the surface of what is possible. So OpenAI is definitely going to be a very interesting company to watch out for. And we follow at Mona, we follow their work very closely. Yeah. Companies like IBM and Microsoft solving research and facial analysis due to possible bad things. What's your take on that? They're not going to completely stop research. I mean, in facial recognition because of some policy constraints. They'll continue to do it, and they'll figure out a way to, construct or implement policies around it versus stopping research altogether. So that is a solvable problem, and so that's my take on that. Increasing computer performance led an AI boom, but is there still a strong link between improving hardware? One thing, yes, since Moore's law doesn't really apply anymore. That's a very good question. So you have GPUs now, which are just loaded with transistors. So you have a lot of very fast computing available at your fingertips. OpenAI, in fact, has a $1 billion deal with Microsoft where they can use Microsoft's cloud to do the computations it wants to train its model that it used for GPT-3. It cost them around $30-40 million, which is a lot of money, which most startups don't have. So, I mean, hardware is always going to be an important factor because that is ultimately the layer or fabric on which you are training your models or doing your computations. What do you think of companies like Clearview AI? Do you think they are doing is correct or is against? I'm not aware of this company, Clearview AI, but I am assuming there's some facial recognition company they're doing is correct, or is it against human privacy and should be banned? I mean, any sufficiently advanced technology always creates problems in terms of how humans react to it and the policy questions that it springs up. So, I mean, as a rule or as a maxim, one should always it is my belief that human privacy should not be compromised on. But that doesn't mean that if a company is pushing the boundaries of technology and at the same time violating some human privacy, that it will continue to do that. It would rather, it would make more sense that it continues to innovate and at the same time figure out how to work around the policy problems. To what extent do you predict that AI will be replacing jobs? Has started happening already. Yeah, so any sufficiently advanced technology disrupts the labor markets first. AI will definitely do that. Over the short term, it has started already doing it. You have the lowest fabric of jobs is getting replaced by companies that are doing intelligent automation, that is AI. So automation is happening at a pretty fast rate. So let's see. I mean, I'm no seer to say whether AI will be replacing jobs, but in my study of history, every time something really advanced has come out, labor markets have been disrupted. Here's a crazy idea: decentralized training halls for blockchain. Is that even? Yeah, I mean, you can do that, but blockchain is a ledger, is a decentralized ledger. So just because something's decentralized, I mean, it's kind of, I don't understand the question. How you would train? You could use it. You use blockchain in a clever way to train your models, but you don't need to do that. Um, uh, yeah. Do you think NVIDIA's monopoly over the data center GPU market? Yeah, they're very that's a very good question. I think it comes down to how good the upper management is. AMD and NVIDIA will go head to head. Intel is also a formidable company, but the NVIDIA founder is very, very capable. And if I were to make a bet, I would bet on NVIDIA winning the GPU market. What exactly is EagerPanda? What kind of knowledge are you trying to store? Something like Wikipedia. So yeah, EagerPanda is, the mission of the company was to chronicle the past, present, and the future. For the first time in history, we have the technology available to really make that happen. What kind of knowledge are we trying to store? Something like Wikipedia. So Wikipedia is, in technical terms, a tertiary source of knowledge. That is, you have primary source, you have secondary source, you have tertiary source. So primary source would be, say, Einstein's paper on relativity is a primary source, because the first is the source where you would, which first told the world about the theory of relativity. Secondary source would be the media writing about it, or journals writing about it, or whatever. The tertiary source is basically what Wikipedia is, which is a fact that has been extracted from the primary and secondary sources, verifiable fact. And so EagerPanda was trying to be the primary, the repository for primary and secondary sources. What do you think will be the blue-collar jobs of the future? I think software engineering. Could you talk about the tech you're using at Mauna? I mean, I could, sure, on briefly. We have a way. It's infrastructure for conversational AI. So you have to have a way to model conversations. You have to have a way to predict dialogue turns, whose turn it is. You have to have a way of saying that, okay, this is what the bot is. This is what the user is saying, and this is how the bot should reply. And so I can't really talk. I can't really tell you how we do that, but these are some of the problems we face or solve. Hey, Vidar, thank you. GPT is quite advanced, does indeed consider misuse, but does that justify OpenAI's restriction on drone? Yeah, so there's a big debate about it. That a lot of people are pissed because OpenAI's mission was to do good for humanity, and it seems like being closed is very against the ethos of what they started with. So, but I'll say, you have an analogy in Formula One where a lot of interesting technologies invented by constructors for the respective teams. Which is in turn used for cars that are produced in the mass market. So maybe we see something like that. But yeah, a lot of people are pissed. Okay, any more questions? There's a lot of questions there. How's the time in Exun? Anything? Yeah, I loved my time in Exun. I remember winning the senior quiz in my final year in Exun 12th standard with my friend Bharat and Anas Kautam. And that was one of the more memorable memories I have. That's a very fond memory I have of Exun, winning the senior quiz in front of a home audience. The questions were set by a guy called Viksit Gaur, who was a very adept quiz master, I think. So yeah, that was very nice. What if Google launches a? Well, Google already has a product called Dialogflow, which has the same stated mission as Mona. It bought a company called API.ai and rebranded as Dialogflow. Dialogflow has a lot of problems that I will not even get into. But yeah, I mean, it's a very crowded market, but I think what we're building is something really phenomenal. Yeah. What according to will be the AI's impact on the economy and the financial sector? Again, the labor markets will be disrupted, so that means there'll be people will have to retool their skill to be relevant in the job market. That will create more interesting industry. So that will create relevant industries. Besides that, yeah, I mean, just like a lot of people will have existential crisis that, okay, what do we do? Not just people, individuals, but also companies. That how do we stay relevant um, with all these things around us? Yeah. Getting trust and cost effectively not easy for some. Yeah, there's a good company, Scale.ai, Scale AI, and further the ML revolution. Yeah, I think it's a good company, definitely. Mm. Yeah, I think it'll solve the problem. Okay, any more questions?
No, I think that's it. I'd just like to thank you for coming here. Thank you to everyone who attended. Thank you for asking questions.
Okay, no problem. Awesome. All right. See you guys.